I'm super happy to have you here. It's a beautiful day. October 23rd. So that is Scorpio season. Happy birthday, Scorpios, every one of you. It's an exciting time. It is a deep time. It is a time of introspection. It is a sensitive time, a water sign. It will abolish all phoniness, BS. The truth comes to light. There's a great time for healing, and that involves physical healing, relationship healings, your own personal healing. It's a good time. It is a spiritual time. It's a psychic time. An intuitive time becomes very more intense during the Scorpio time. But it's very deep, very, very heartfelt, emotionally felt time. So transformation is a key word, but I would say healing is the operative word for the next 30 days. So the other thing about today I'm excited about, and I wanted to do this as I told my viewers. If you are returning, welcome back. If you are new, welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe. Right now what I do is a daily divination of my I-Ching coin card messages. And today I'm going to actually do it in front of camera, so it'll be a little lengthier today. But I'm hoping that this will explain further to you about the I-Ching coins, and certainly why I've enjoyed them for many years now. So I will simplify it and yet give you a little more depth into why these occurred and when they occurred. I will read, first of all, the background of sorts, and then add to that, as well as toss the hexagram for today. So of all ancient books, not one was more prized by Confucius than the I-Ching, or the Book of Change, the rudiments of which are assigned to Fu He about the 30th century BC. So this has been around for a very, very long time. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing the names properly. Those rudiments are the 8 trigrams and 64 hexagrams, composed of a whole and broken line without any text or explanation of them earlier than the rise of the Zhou dynasty. It is supposed to give a theory of the phenomenon of the physical universe and of moral and political principles. As now published, there are always subjoined to it certain appendixes ascribed to Confucius himself. So this was something that was brought about back in the day, and at that point in time, with the help of the fundamental principles of the I-Ching, it is possible to arrive at a complete realization of man's innate capacities. This unfolding rests on the fact that man has innate capacities that resemble heaven and earth, that he is a microism. Now, since the laws of heaven and earth are reproduced in the I-Ching, man is provided with the means of shaping his own nature, so that his inborn potentialities for good can be taken into account, wisdom and action, or intellect and will. If intellect and will are correctly centered, the emotional life takes on harmony. So that's a little preface and history on the I-Ching coin originally. Now there were no cards. These were originated, from what I'm gathering, 1971 was the copyright, forgive me. And also just know that, and it's not an excuse as far as I'm concerned, it is the honest truth. My verbiage and my ability to speak as we have entered the Mercury shadow period has been very noticeable to me, and I apologize to you. I wouldn't have the time to edit out all of my errors, so I will try to talk softly, and slower, I should say. Maybe softly. That's not a bad thing, but... So moving on, the main things to describe about the I-Ching coins are that back in the day, they didn't have the cards. They were using any coins that they happened to have. These I-Ching coins have on one side either 3, the number 3, or on the opposite side having 2s. Now the 2s represent yin energy, which is female, and the 3s represent the male yang energy. So at one point, I guess you would use a quarter, and the yin would be the tails, and the yang would be the heads. Now, when you toss them, I would toss them 6 times, as I will do today after a little explanation. And once you've tossed the coins, you would read the 3 numbers on them. And right now I've come up with 2, 4, 2 2s and a 3. So that's 7. And I would proceed to write the trigram line. There are 3 lines per trigram. There are 2 trigrams, creating the 6 lines, which then becomes the hexagram. There are 8 trigrams that could come from any shaking or denominations that would equal. It would allow us 8 trigrams. And then those 8 trigrams allow us up to 64 hexagrams. And that's how many cards we have. So that gives us the message after we've formed the hexagrams. Now, the other interesting part I do want to mention is the 8 trigrams represent earth, mountain, water, wind, thunder, fire, lake, and heaven. So they're all the elements of the world as well. And also important to mention is in the trigram itself, we have the upper trigram I explained to you at times, because there's a mention of whether it's earth, fire, and what its attributes are. And then we have the lower, but in between they have what they call the nuclear, which are the 4 lines in between the up and the bottom trigram. And this is the complex part of it. The nuclear trigrams are important because they often reveal the reasons why certain objects are referred to in these lines. So there's a lot to this, like I said. And another important thing to mention that I wasn't mentioning is that the meanings that are written on the cards are definitely in a metaphoric sense. So they give us ideas and pictures other than the actual meaning. For example, the other day I was talking about how there was a message of our couch being upside down with legs straight up. Well, that doesn't mean our couches, though that could happen. It's simply saying perhaps our life may be upside down. It would be not advantageous to move forward in that state. Wait till everything is maybe mellowed out and a little more balanced. So that's how it's spoken, and then you take that in and you see how that pertains to your specific life or question. So those are the main focal points of it. Now, as I did mention, though, there are moving numbers. Those are very important, special divination messages within the trigram and hexagrams, and they are done when you receive 3 2s from a toss. That becomes a moving number 6. And it comes from 3 3s, which is a moving number 9. And anytime there are moving numbers, the hexagram then changes after the message to the other side, from a moving, which is, let's say, a broken line, to a non-moving, which is a unbroken line. So we have 2 messages, 2 cards, and then corresponding messages on the back of each card for each moving number position. I hope that's made sense. Let's do our hexagram for today. October 23rd, the beginning of Scorpio season. Beautiful, beautiful fall day here in the Northern American side, where I'm in California specifically. You always want to think very intently on your question, each roll. And then you want to toss the coins. So for the first toss, I have gotten 3, 6, 7, 8. And that is a broken line. Two, so 3, 6, 8 again. You always start from the bottom up in the trigrams that form the hexagram. Three, 6, 7, 8. So we have 3 8s for the bottom trigram. Short, short, short. All 3 broken lines. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the top bottom. That's a long. We have a moving number, a 6. So we have a second message today. And then the final line for the formation of the full hexagram. A second moving number, because life is always moving. So there's little intricate parts to it that we need to know before furthering our question. All right, so I instantly changed that because I know how to do that right away from a moving to a non-moving. Okay, and so that becomes that, and then we have the... So as you can see, this is a little time consuming, and I save ourselves that time. You can come and have your question ready, and then I just present you with the I-Ching message of the day, okay, from the hexagram. So the first one is short, short, short from the bottom up, and I find it on the left, which is kun, and then the second part of the upper trigram is long, short, short, and that is chin. So we come from the top down, the bottom over, and it's number 16. And number 16 today, as I look through the deck, let's see if I can get it kind of close by here. We're at 15, and 16 is harmony. Love that. Yay! That's beautiful. And then the other hexagram, because of the moving number, short, short, short from the bottom. Once again, the moving numbers are on top, so the bottom part of the trigram stays the same. And then it goes to long, 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 and that is Ching. So that's 12. So it goes 16, harmony, and 12 is, well, let's see what 12 is. Stagnation. And we have read this before in the past week. So we'll just keep it moving here. All right, so here we are, and here I'm going to read you the meaning and the moving numbers. And it goes like so. Here's you. Harmony, 16. Above trigram is movement, thunder, and below is kun, earth, receptive, and devoted. Yun indicates the condition of harmony, pleasure, and satisfaction. The sages show such docile obedience in connection with their movements, and hence their punishments and penalties are entirely just, and the people are happy in their submission. Okay. I'm liking the harmony, and one more time on that. The sages show such docile obedience in connection with their movements, and hence their punishments and penalties are entirely just, and the people are happy in their submission. So overall, positive thoughts there. Once again, these are very metaphorically spoken. And so the 6 on the second from the top would be the 5th position. And it says, one with chronic complaint, but who lives with one with a chronic complaint, but who lives on without dying. Okay. Well, if there's any kind of a ailment physically or something of that nature, it's showing that, once again, the submission. You know, I'm going to make it work. It will work. I will work around these situations, and it'll be fine, and it's not going to kill me in the process, right? And then 6 at the top. He is deluded by pleasure and satisfaction. But if he changes course, even when it is considered ended, there will be no error. So I hope that that resonates with you, and you have a deeper understanding of the I-Ching coins and their messages. And like it says, moving is just a part of everyday life. So those little inter messages are the overall, but they're just a little more insight into the layers of the message to you. So the second trigram is pi, and it is number 12, stagnation. And it reads, in pi, there is the want of good understanding between the different classes of men, and its indication is unfavorable to the firm and correct course of the superior man. We see in it the great gone and the little come. The superior man restrains the manifestations of his virtue and avoids the calamities that threaten him. And I love that. And let us all do that in life. Let us avoid those calamities, those small things that tend to trip us up. You know, they're going to come in our lives, right? And just let's be strong in our will and our desire to move past them. And I appreciate all of you. It's wonderful to have this channel. I'm always excited to come, and hopefully this is the only take for today because yesterday was 4 takes, I told you. But I do it, you know, that's a calamity, right? I better put my money where my mouth is. So have a beautiful rest of the day, and until next time, bye for now.